Hi, Bharath. Thank you for your essays. Now let's have a look at the first one. This is the essay about jobs. Okay, so you have to agree or disagree with the statement, and you have to give reasons and relevant examples. There's always a time in everybody's life to search for a career after graduating from an institution with a desired degree. Career is very important because it is the time for us to take up our responsibility for building our lives without depending on our parents or other peers. After choosing a career, there's always a talk whether to catch hold with the same company or switch to another company at least once in their career. Okay, I'm going to remove this. Let's agree on one thing. Let's agree on the fact that you will try to keep to the topic because, look, you start from the search. You start from afar and then you come here. The thing is that in essay writing, there's a certain very specific formula because you really have to focus on the most important things in an essay. And an essay really has to answer the topic, the question in the topic right away. Your question was, to what extent do you agree or disagree with the fact that employees could do either one thing or the other? So from your introduction, it's not very clear because you're simply presenting a narrative of what happens from a person's beginning of search until the moment when they have to choose. So remember, you really have to say openly and very overtly, I do agree with the fact that changing jobs is very important because people learn a wide variety of skills in their different workplaces, and because, let's say, they meet a variety of co-workers that shape who they are and the soft skills that they possess, something like this. I'm trying to make up things right on the spot, but again, it doesn't have to be this way. So remember, you really have to include your position. I agree with this part of the debate and a clear summary of your reasons, okay? Some people join in a company that they dream of and neglect the ones which neglect. I wouldn't say neglect, I would rather say ignore instead of this. No, not tab, I meant this. Which provide the better offer and with a good pay, which provide a better offer and a better pay and a better and pay. They refuse to switch to another company due to a few reasons. A few means several. Firstly, the company which they like to join would be situated in the same place where they hail from. Okay. First of all, company. You have used it 3 times in 3 lines. That's a bit too much. Try to use synonyms because if you stay and keep doing this, you will obviously lose points, unfortunately, in your vocabulary resource criterion. So next, what do you mean by this? You mean location, right? Where they hail from is a bit outdated, so to say, just a bit outdated. But yes, I get your point. This is because that person doesn't wish to leave his or her. Don't use the slash in essays because it's inappropriate. There's the word or for that. And remember, don't use contracted forms. Always write full forms. Does not. That's a rule for all the essay types. Okay, and even the town they grew up in. Okay, and another thing that you should pay attention to. You have grew up here and you have take up here. and catch hold with um, in here. Oh, I think I haven't corrected the grammar in the introduction. Anyway, please remember that you should try and abstain from using phrasal verbs in academic essays because they are not the majority of phrasal verbs. It doesn't mean all of them, but an absolute majority are not academic. They are not formal. They are highly informal and belong in the conversational style or in informal letters, let's say. Is your target a general? Yes, IELTS general. Okay. You can actually use them in informal letters, absolutely, but in essays, you better don't. Even in the general IELTS essays, because they're still essays. Okay. Let me quickly fix the grammar here. There's always a time of graduating from an institution with the desired degree. Okay. Career is very important because it's time for us to take up responsibility for building our lives without depending on parents or other peers. After choosing a career, and we have a repeat. We have a repeat here. There is always a talk whether to catch hold with the same company. Okay, catch hold doesn't really fit here, and talk doesn't either, because a talk is a presentation. Like, think of TED Talk, right? You can say there's always the dilemma whether to remain at the same company or switch to another one. And again, we have too many words company. Look at all of these companies everywhere, at least once in their career. Okay, so we have a couple of words that you overuse, career and company. Please try to use synonyms or synonymous expressions. Now let's go back to this first body paragraph. Okay, I still I'm still thinking. So what's the main idea here? People stay with the same company because why? Due to a few reasons. Okay, first, it's in the same place. Second, they have friends there. And let's see. Secondly, there would be some known friends who work in the same company so that they would feel more comfortable working with. I understand what you mean, but this is a very awkward way of saying that. You could rephrase this, for example, like that. Secondly, there are friends who work in the same company, so the person who intends to only start their career in that firm feel more comfortable if they know someone already, something like that. The company would also provide immense benefits than the other companies, such as more vacation days, more sick holidays, sponsoring for education, and other similar benefits. With these benefits and advantages, employees would never think of switching to another company or job. This is a bit redundant, company or job in this case. I would just suggest that you simply leave the word job because you're overusing company already, right? Company. Okay, and look at this. You have firstly, great. You have secondly, and then it would be a great idea to use finally. Finally, um, this company would also provide immense benefits, right? Okay. That the other companies, in comparison with the other companies, comma, such as more vacation days, more sick holidays, this, and benefits. And look at this. You have benefits here and benefits here. By benefits in this sentence, you mean the list of additional perks, so to say, that the company gives you. By benefits here, you mean advantages. So why repeat yourself if you say with these advantages? Okay, your position is clear here. As the generation goes up, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by goes up? And this is a phrasal verb, but it's not about the phrasal verb. I'm not sure what you mean. So perhaps you could rephrase this because I'm not sure if you mean as the age of the person, of which person increases. So I'm kind of lost here. Sorry about that. There are immense amounts of opportunities available for expanding their horizons. Okay, the whole sentence is a bit confusing. What do you mean by generation, and whose horizons do you intend to expand? People who believe to lift up themselves for better lives tend to think of switching their careers by joining different companies. This could be because of their self-analysis about their skill sets that they have earned through education and previous employment experiences. This, okay, I'm going to put this in bold too. This is very confusing, unfortunately. I can guess based on keywords. For example, you mean those people who try to work hard for a better life, start thinking about switching their careers and, of course, joining a different company because they thought hard about their skill sets that they have and what they have earned through education and previous employment. And all this analysis leads them to the decision of switching their jobs, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. The thing is that I can understand your idea somehow, but the wording here is unnatural, unfortunately. Sorry about that again. But there are natural and unnatural ways of writing in English, and this is not very okay. There are other reasons too. If the employee dislikes their current job, they can look for another job, repeats, which could provide them better comfortability and satisfaction. With these circumstances, they should think to switch their jobs at least once in their career. Okay. Now let's ask ourselves, what's the main point of this paragraph? I'm not sure. Are you by opposition, if this paragraph was about the reasons why people do not want to change jobs, this is a paragraph why people want to change jobs, right? So perhaps you should try and be more coherent, organize the logic of your explanations for your main arguments clearer, because it's very difficult to read through this paragraph and understand how all the ideas connect. Separately, the ideas are great, but you really have to arrange them in a more flowing way and fix your wording, grammar, and sentence structure so that they become one whole paragraph. Okay, with these circumstances, okay, so this is how you conclude. Okay, this is a semblance of a concluding sentence. All right, but anyway, it feels like you're jumping from one idea to another and it's difficult to follow. So in my opinion, job change or staying with the same job doesn't have to be, okay, I mentioned about contractions, proved about their efficiency to the society or to the known ones. What do you mean by known ones? The people they know or their friends and family? Okay. So there is no such thing as comfortness. There's comfort. There is no such thing as comfortability. I'm not sure that that exists. There's comfort. Simply comfort. Okay. So you mean here, in my opinion, changing jobs or staying in the same job does not have to be about one's efficiency to society or looking good in the eyes of the people they know. Correct me if I'm wrong, because the way you have it written is, again, very non-typical use of English. Wherever the job provides satisfaction and comfort, that company would be the best place to work. I wouldn't say wherever, I would say if. Simply if. If the job provides satisfaction and comfort, that company would be the best place to work. Absolutely. If the job doesn't, again, no contraction, satisfy the employee, then he or she should switch to another company. This is a bit simple, but okay. But this is a very nice position. All right. Okay. How about examples from your knowledge or experience? Because all I can see here is explanation. I can't see examples, really. But anyway, mind all these corrections. Think about this. And I'm not sure if you know the acronym for the development of the essay. We have it in our online course. I'm not sure if you have completed it, but you should have because you're in the 9 essay pack. So revisit the acronym for writing an efficient essay. Now let's very quickly look over your letter. Hello, everyone. Okay, so you're writing a letter to your host family. One regards, Bharath. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. I'm Bharath. I'm from India, and I'm very interested to attend the English Home Hostel program that you guys are hosting. I'm a professor from the English Literature Department in St. Peter's University, India. Okay. Before coming over here, I have a few questions to ask to get some information about the UK. Okay. Beg your pardon? Okay, I can see that there's a lot to change here. And let me make an overview of this. So, first of all, you're going to write the letter to a host family, and this host family is people that you don't know. So perhaps choosing a tone that is so informal would be a bit inappropriate. I mean, you've never met these people before. Maybe they are very conservative, I don't know, couple who don't tolerate being addressed by their first name. And you have to address them as Mr. and Mrs. Brown, something like this. So again, you don't know who you're going to get. So this means you have to be reasonably formal. What you have here is a very nice and warm letter to your friend. So you're not sure that these people will be this super warm. This means that you really have to address them, let's say, dear host family. This is neutral, right? Some of your expressions are fine. Hope you're all doing well. This is absolutely fine. You do introduce yourself appropriately. But again, this expression that you guys are hosting is way informal. And again, it's not that they are hosting the whole program. They are just one of the host families in the English and Homestay program, right? So it would be a bit, let's say, inaccurate to say this. Okay, before coming there, just that, I have a few questions, and as you noticed, I write all my corrections in all caps so that they're more visible. To ask in order to get some information about the UK, since this is the first time for me to come to this country. So first, perhaps you could use some cohesive devices to orient your reader. For example, first, then finally, right? Could you tell me which place the program is going to be conducted, because I'm landing in London Heathrow Airport and wish to know the distance from the airport to your place? It's not that the program is going to be conducted. Again, you're going to be living with a host family. That's it. Maybe you're going to have some classes, but you're not going to have them at home. So perhaps you could ask, could you tell me where exactly you live? Because I will be landing at London Heathrow Airport, and I would like to know the distance from the airport to your place. I would like to know would be more appropriate than wish. Okay. Second, how are the taxi fares in UK? Because I do not have a valid UK or international license, and this is why I would have to look to a better transportation means to reach your place, right? I would like you to suggest me some hotels which are cost effective. I'm not sure why you would be asking this, because again, the concept of the homestay, and this is a matter of vocabulary and understanding and interpreting the task correctly, this is not interpretable, because homestay and host family means that you will be staying at their place. So this is off topic, unfortunately. Again, you also have to tell the family a scheduled date of arrival and time. You say Saturday. I don't know what Saturday is, so probably you should include a date. Thursday evening around 8 p.m. How about the flight details? Perhaps, I don't know, flight AB 12345 with this and that airline. This would be more complete. I'm very excited to meet you next week, and it is a pleasure writing the letter to you too. Well, I'm not sure this is very relevant, but anyway. So you either end the letter with a thank you or with warm regards. Well, in the case of a formal letter, and if you address them, dear host family, you might end with yours faithfully because you address people whose name you don't know. But remember, both thank you and warm regards can be interpreted as farewell formulas, and using them both, especially with this punctuation, would be inappropriate. And again, for a formal letter, you would have to write your first and last name, right? And by the way, here you write the full version of your first name, and here you only write the short one. So you really have to make up your mind. Again, this is not a big deal. You'll get used to the format. Please make a list of my corrections, go over them, rewrite both texts because it will help you understand how to implement the changes. So all the best of luck, and hoping to see more of your essays.